Either one of you guys can answer this. Eric Decker with The Messenger. Obviously, kind of a cold shooting night for you guys as a team to start. Do you think that was just more just the luck of the bounce, or was there something kind of contributing to that for you guys?
I'll just say I do think it was kind of probably the game, the luck of the bounce, but also I feel like we let our offensive struggles dictate defense, and I also feel like the second chance points that we gave them kind of dictated our offense and kind of deflated us. But we know we trust in our work. A lot of us on that team, we get up shots every day, we work out every day, so we just gotta trust in the work and trust in the process. And it's just one game. It's tough, it hurts because they came into our house and beat us, but we still gotta stick with the faith and trust our work.
So you guys have struggled to score in the first half in each of the last 2 games. I think you scored under 30 in each of the first half. So what do you think you guys need to do just to get off to a faster start?
Make layups. We've been a bad finishing team probably throughout the course of the year. And, yeah, that's one thing. Those are easy points that we just got to convert on.
Grayson Wolf with WADB. You guys were able to force 15 turnovers tonight. So what are you guys going to be able to take away from the defensive side of the ball to kind of continue on?
I think we could have got more timely stops. I think we did a good job. Most of those turnovers and deflections were in probably the first 10 minutes of the game. So after they settled in, they were able to take care of the ball more. So I think we need to get those transition opportunities in the second half.
You mentioned some of the poor shooting. 3-point shooting, especially the first 30, 45 minutes of the game, really struggled. Do you think that's just a matter of shots not falling, or is that something you guys want to work on going forward, maybe some better shot selection?
I think it's always something you can work on at the end of the day if you're shooting good or bad. But, I think, like I said earlier, I think we just got to trust in the work that we put in. I think on our shots we can't think so much. I just think we got to follow our mechanics, do what we do every day when we're in the gym. And I think the shots will fall, but, that's something that we definitely want to, be better at. We know we can be better at, and we will be better at that.
And kind of on the flip side there, even though overall kind of a cold day, you guys end up hitting the last 7 of the 8 shots. So are there any positives you can kind of take away from, even though not being able to overcome the deficit in the end, but still fighting to the end and finding a rhythm eventually offensively?
I think there's only so much you can take from the last 2 minutes of the game, especially the way that we were playing and they were playing. We were trying to speed up because we were down, and they were kind of playing keep away and stuff like that. So I would just say, obviously, just making shots early is going to make us more confident throughout the game. So we just got to focus on making shots earlier.
Record WAB, what's going to be the mentality going into the Marshall game out of the locker room from the takeaway from this game?
We are going to rebound better. And no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We all going to box out, limit them to 1 shot, and then thrive off our transition game. When we're in transition, we're tough to guard, and so it's hard to do that when the team has second chance points and second chance opportunities. So I think limit them to 1 shot, and then once we do that and get out and running, I think we'll be just fine.
And we're not going to let this game dictate how Saturday's going to go. It's probably going to hurt today, but wake up with a smile tomorrow, we'll be all right.
I guess a bright side out of it, the last couple games, Aiden has gotten more minutes on the field on the court, and today had a career high. Kind of, Jaylin, you work with him a lot. Kind of talk about his progression.
I'm proud of Aiden, man. He's the hardest worker, one of the hardest workers on the team, and he works at every day. He really doesn't care what other people think in a good way. He's going to get his work done. He's going to talk his mess on the court, and he's just going to play hard. So I can always respect that. And I know I feel like our journeys, especially freshman and sophomore year, are a little bit similar as far as minutes. So I just try to stay in his ear and tell him everything's okay. And now he's starting to figure stuff out for himself.
First, give Youngstown State credit. I thought they came in here and did a really good job and kind of were the aggressor for most of the game. I think up until the 14-minute mark in the first half, we were controlling, doing what we wanted to do, getting deflections, getting stops. In the last 6 minutes, we didn't do that. And if you look at the stats and numbers, pretty much even across the board. They had 3 more field goals than we did. And, that was obviously the difference in the game. And, they did a great job of finishing in the paint, 42 points in the paint, and I think we were 18 for 42. I thought that was the big difference in the game.
Eric Decker with the Messenger. Coach, obviously a slow shooting start to begin the night. Do you think that was just more the luck of the bounce not going your way, or do you think there was actual mistakes being made on the court that kind of led to that?
Yeah, I think going into the game, you have a good idea of how you're going to get your shots, by the way the other team guards. And they play a matchup zone, they play man-to-man, they switched a lot of their screens. So, we knew we had to get the ball in the paint. We were going to be able to get the ball in the paint. Now you either got to finish it or you got to make that extra pass. And I don't think we did enough of each, to be able to, sustain what they were doing. And I thought that was a big difference. So it's either like you get it in there, you got to finish, or you got to make that extra pass, kick out, and make a shot. And, we made some late to get back into it, but, not what we needed to do.
So you guys struggled in the first half again just to score. I think in each of the last 2 games you scored under 30 points in the first half. What do you think the team needs to do just to get off to a better start?
Yeah, normally, Bobby, we do a good job of turning stops and turnovers into points in transition. And we had 10 fast break points, but it'll be interesting to see how many transition possessions we had to how many points we had. And normally, it's a pretty good rate for us, and we didn't do that tonight. And, it's a big part of our offense. And when teams guard you the way they guarded, you can be stagnant, right, and the ball can stop moving, kind of like it did in the first half against Delaware. Second half, we moved the ball better, got the ball into the paint. But I think once we watch the film, we'll look at, hey, we got the ball where we wanted to. We just didn't do what we wanted to do from a finishing standpoint, from an extra pass standpoint.
A.J. Brown has kind of had some difficulty shooting the past few games. Has he just been in a slump, and how do you kind of work him out of that?
Yeah, I think everybody goes through it, right, sometime, some point in your career. And, when you go through something like that, you think too much. And, I thought he passed up a couple shots. He struggled in his confidence right now, but that's our job as coaches to, build him back up and watch film. And, it's his job to keep getting extra reps in, stay positive. And it's hard, when you're struggling. But, there's a lot of other things you can do from a competitive standpoint, defense, rebounding. But, we need him, and he's going to be really good. He's just kind of going through, like you said, a slump, confidence-wise, that everybody who plays goes through. So, we got to help him out of it.
And then one of the positives from the night is a second straight nice night from Aiden Hadaway. Just what has he been able to do so well on the court, and how is he kind of turning the corner?
Yeah, I think, Delaware game was a high-confidence game for him. And, when you play those minutes and you produce like you did, and, that was the first time he's really been in there in crunch time in the last, 4-minute war of the game. And, I thought he continued, going into it. And, this is a good game for him because he's such a really good cutter and mover without the ball. And, once he got the ball inside, he was, one of the guys that really finished for us tonight. And, we're going to need him moving forward. I mean, he was plus 11. I think he was the only guy positive tonight. So his minutes were really good.
Grayson Wolf with WAB. You guys forced 15 turnovers tonight. Seemed like you guys were in the passing lanes a ton. Was that a focus tonight specifically, or is that just your guys having active hands?
Yeah, going in, one of our biggest keys was to disrupt, right? Because they do a good job high-low passing. They got active bigs. They go 3 out, 2 in, 4 out, 1 in, high-low. So we chart deflections every game. And like I said, I think we had 16 deflections and 4 kills, which is 3 stops in a row, or maybe 6 kills the first 14 minutes. So we were really active. Last 6 minutes, it was 2 deflections and no kills. That's when they made a run to get the lead. And, when we disrupt offenses, make it hard on them, we're a pretty good defense. And if you look at our analytics, a lot of times opponents' offenses go deep into the shot clock because our defense is pretty good. Now, the last 5 to 8 seconds, tonight probably, 4 or 5 times, right? They hit a couple buzzer-beating threes, a couple layups at the buzzer. That's where we got to, correct just that last 5 to 8 seconds locking in and getting that stop when we need it.
Peyton Brooker at WAB. This Saturday, you guys are going to take it on Marshall, which is, you've had history with Marshall, many different games. What's going to be kind of a turnaround that's going to be against this former foe of Marshall?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this might be the last game in the series. Hopefully we can continue it. It's a great game for both teams. It's a local, we've been playing forever. I work there. It's a great school. Big thing for us is, not letting today affect Saturday. So the good thing about basketball is you play pretty quickly afterwards. Football, you lose, you got 7 days to marinate on it. So the biggest thing is to come in with the right mindset, respond the right way. Because it's a good team. They're going to be a high up tempo transition team, shoot a lot of threes. So we have to kind of have a short term memory, come back in, get ready to play on Saturday.
You mentioned a couple of those last second threes at the end of the shot clock. How deflating is that defensively when you have a really good possession and they kind of catch those in for?
Very deflating, Bobby. You ever played before?
Like in middle school. Right.
Yeah, it's one of those deals too where when you play so hard and something like that happens, you can't let that affect the other end, right? So defensively, if you give up a layup or transition, or if you miss a layup, right, you can't let it affect your defensive end. And I thought we didn't do a great job of transitioning from missed layups, missed finishes, missed threes to, okay, let's sprint back and transition. Let's get the stop when we need to. And like I said, if you look at our numbers, teams go deep in the shot clock against us. So now it's like just be solid, be sound, and it's going to happen, right? It's basketball, but you can't let it affect what you're doing on the other end. But it is deflating.
I kind of want to go back to the Delaware game for a second. When we talked to Coach Thorin after the game, he threw praise your way for kind of giving them the keys to the vehicle to kind of let them run the game the other day, and he said it was a kind of a three-headed effort as a coaching collaboration. So just from your perspective, what did you just think of their effort, like as a coaching staff, and how did you just think of them just being able to pull together while you weren't there?
Yeah, first I thought our guys were very gritty, very resilient, and found a way to win the game. They battled, got the lead, kept the lead, and I about had a heart attack when I saw the last shot. But we're very fortunate to have the staff we have. Number one, they're great people. They're great, husbands, fathers. They're great ambassadors for the university. They represent, who we are. They're great in the locker room with our guys. And when you have a staff, I think the way we do things is a little different. Coach Barlow does our offense, Coach Thornton does our defense, Coach Martin does personnel and some subbing. And as a head coach, you want guys you can trust. And I trust those guys wholeheartedly. I had zero doubt that it would keep moving. The big thing is I don't want to make it about me not being there, win one, make it about the players. And, I think, when you're in the situation I'm in and you have guys around you like that, it's the culture we have. And I think the success we've had for years, right, has been the continuity of the staff we've had. A lot of times when you have constant turnover, you got to reteach how you do things, reteach, certain aspects. We haven't had that, luckily. So, everything that I say, they're saying. Everything our strength coach says, I'm saying. Everything our academic, so everyone's talking the same way. The culture's the same way. I love those guys. They're great people. They got great chemistry. They got great friendship. And, I was happy to see, obviously, the win. And those guys, they do what they do every game. What they did against Delaware, they did tonight. They did against, whoever. They're going to continue to do that. I appreciate y'all. Be safe.